So basically we are kind of hanging out waiting for our next mode of transport to take us somewhere. Over the last couple of days we've been chatting with this guy named Chris, who is a pretty cool guy, and him and Eric talked about the next place he's going, and Eric's pretty psyched about it, so we've decided to go. I honestly couldn't tell you the names of where we're going. I have no idea, but I know we're going to a little island. Right now we're in Champon, and we took a 3.5-hour train ride to get here, and it's about 8:30 now, and we are going to take what is known as the midnight boat, but apparently tonight it's the 11 o'clock boat, and I'm going to show you what that means. And having just found out what that means about 15 minutes ago, is still pretty fresh. So here we go. We came up, a tuk-tuk brought us here. We bought tickets from that little booth right there, and then we walked here. And I'll tell you, normally I wouldn't videotape people that weren't aware or able to tell me it was okay, but they're just gonna have to deal with it. This is worth it. So if somebody starts yelling at me, I'm sorry. Yes, I am crossing this bridge. So we got here and we got confused, and then we saw bunk beds. And then we saw lots and lots of bunk beds. Eric's ready for his boat adventure.
Did you explain that we had to take a train? To
Yep.
It's been an interesting day.
I'm number 15. I sleep right under the fan. Yay! And we will be on this boat for 6 hours, so...
And it goes, like, I looked at the map, it's like 45 miles. So I don't maybe they're gonna do some fishing on the way.
6 hours on a boat adventure. We'll see. Where are we going? Koh Tao?
Koh Tao.
Koh Tao at 5 a.m.
It's a little dark, but a few hours later we're pulling into this island. This is what this room looks like now. What time is it, Katie? 5 a.m.? It's like 5 a.m. or something. There's like a whole bunch of honkies upstairs that had to sleep outside. It doesn't seem like it rained, so that probably wasn't all that bad, but it's a little rough up there. They weren't happy, but that's about it. And we're about to try to find a guest house in the dark. So this could be interesting. I feel like a refugee. Okay, so we got off the ferry at like 5 a.m., 5:30 in the morning, and walked up the road away from the pier and went to a 7-Eleven to get some breakfast, which was like some biscuits or something, I don't remember. And went outside of the 7-Eleven, and there was a couple of Thai girls that had been on the boat with us, and they were looking to get to the same resort that our guidebook indicated was the cheapest on the island. Places were supposed to be like 250 baht a night, which is expensive for not, for mainland Thailand, but beaches and cities and islands, things go up in price a little bit, so we were willing to pay it. That's not a big deal. 250 baht, that's like $7.50 or something. So we took a taxi ride with them, which was ridiculously overpriced, and it was in the back of a truck. Which was typical around here, I guess. Taxis couldn't drive on the roads on this island anyways. So we take this ride to, it's like 4 or 5 kilometers away, and we get out of the truck, and we thought those girls were going to be going there with us, and it's kind of one of the reasons we went in the first place, because somebody else is going, it must be okay. And they didn't get out of the truck, and they just went someplace else with the driver, so who knows what happened with that, but so we go up to get this, to check out this room, but it's like 6 a.m. at this point, and the place is still closed, so we have to wait until 8 a.m. for them to open. So we wait till 8 a.m. and they finally show up at like 8:10, and they open up reception, and we go in, and we find out you can't even get a room unless you're going to dive with them. Scuba diving is a really big thing on this island, and apparently there are cheap rooms or only for people who are willing to pay them big money to dive. So that didn't do us any good. So we went to the next cheapest place in our book, which was, it's a short walk, so it wasn't a big deal. So we go up there, and they had no rooms available that were within a reasonable price range. So we waited until they were going to till checkout to see if anybody was going to check out and leave a vacancy in one of the cheaper rooms. And eventually they did leave. Somebody did leave, and one of the sort of cheap rooms was available. So we got something there. The waiting wasn't bad though, as it was we were literally sitting right on the beach. So that was all right. And Katie had some buddies with her.
I have some bird friends. So I just wanted to give you guys a tour of our new bungalow. Regular toilet, shower, the regular stuff, and then also this 1-foot lizard that I just took a pee with. Oh! He's moving! He left. Well, I guess that worked out pretty well. Everybody got to see him, and then I got to freak out. Alright, so we stayed at a place last night that really kind of sucked nuts. There was a mosquito net that they hadn't properly cleaned, so therefore there were mosquitoes in the net that we had to kill. And then I ended up going to the bathroom with a 1-foot lizard that was on the wall. And that 1-foot lizard lives in the cabin. Like, he lives in the walls of the bungalow. So he was there in the morning, and we got him to scuttle off. Gave us enough time for me to go to the bathroom, Eric to go to the bathroom, and for me to put toilet paper into the toilet that clogged it up, and for Eric to take a shower and for us to go fuck this bungalow. So we left the bungalow, left our backpacks there, and we walked about maybe a half an hour, little under, to the town that is close to where we were staying to get a motorcycle. So we followed our book, which told us to go to Lederhosen Bikes, and that took forever because our Candies. So we had to go there, but our book did not tell us where that was. So we walked for the 15 minutes, not knowing exactly where we needed to go, but we managed to get there using the post office and a nice man who knew what we were talking about. So we drove our bike for an hour now. And if you're noticing the background here, let me show you what we're on. There's no bikes here. So we went down a few roads that we determined were not okay for the bike. And in our last ditch effort to find the hotel that we're looking for, we have gone down this road. And this road led to a really big hill, which I had to get off of our motorbike because it wouldn't go up with me on it. So I walked up the hill, Eric got up there, and we just got to another point where we were like, the bike won't go through these tight little areas that are covered in pipes. So we stopped, but there was a sign for the hotel that we wanted. And we're looking at it like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. So I went, there was a lady that was nearby who had, I guess, bungalows or whatever, and I went up to her and I asked her, like, where is this resort? And she just pointed into the woods and told us to go and said that we could park our motorbike in front of her house. I wonder if our motorbike's really still there now. And we have been walking in the jungle for about 15 minutes now.
No, for like 30, 40 minutes.
It's been like 30, 40 minutes, Eric says.
This is what we're following.
We're basically following a cord in the sky, if you can see it there. We have helmets on because we have heard coconuts falling. And the last thing I want to do is die from a fucking coconut. We've literally just been walking and finding signs. At this point, all the signs for the resorts have been knocked onto the ground and the arrow is just pointing in some arbitrary direction. So right now, we're going left. That's what we're doing, we're going left.
Are you having fun?
I've had one meltdown while we're out here. I stepped down and ants covered my foot and I just freaked out. So yeah, the last sign that we saw, how far did it say we were from?
300 meters.
We've got 300 meters to go. Keep in mind that the first sign we saw said 800 meters. And we've been out here for half an hour.
Half an hour?
All right, keep going. Let's show the people how much fun this is. What the fuck? Right when you start the video, they pave everything.
This is a high-class paved road on Koh Tao. This is tied together.
Okay. And people, let me tell you, this place is supposed to have internet. I don't know how they got internet out here. It's also supposed to be on the beach. Okay. We literally climbed up a mountain to get up here. And this shit is covered in centipedes. He looks friendly.
You want to have him on your foot?
No! You just fucked his day up. He's like freaking out. There was a shoe. Okay. It's not paved anymore.
What did you just live there? What did you just live
It's not paved anymore.
It's not. There's a little paving.
It's a rock.
Hey. Hey.
Hold on, we've got a pipe here. This is good news. So we made it to that guest house that we were trying to get to. It did take a couple more minutes, and when we got there, reception has become something that's really hard to find. So we walked through this little village to find the reception, and basically he took us to a bungalow, and we had to kind of weigh the pros and cons of where we were staying. Well, where we wanted to stay, which that place wasn't terrible, but there were pros and cons. So the pros were that there was a clean bungalow. It was spotless, and it may or may not have contained a lizard. At least it was a 50-50 at that point for that place. It was on the beach. We saw people swimming, and we heard about snorkeling, and that was pretty cool. So that was a definite pro for us. And it was secluded, meaning there were minimal honkies. And we had had enough of honkies for the 24 hours that we had spent on Syri beach. We were done. The cons were that electricity was only from 6 till 10. And there's no way to get our motorbike up there. So we basically had a long walk if we wanted to go to town to do something. And the kicker of it all was that if we're going to stay there, since it's so secluded and we've got to walk and get on a motorbike for 10 minutes to get to any other stuff, their restaurant at least needs to be reasonably priced, and it wasn't. They were really trying to just get as much money as they could out of us. Like a 70 baht shake, people. You can't even imagine how much the dinners were. But those were the reasons that we kind of decided we weren't going to stay there, or at least left with the idea that we'll go check out some other places and see what they're like. So we ended up on our bike for a while, and here's what happened. Welcome to another one-handed adventure. We're currently on our steed, and I'm wondering, here we go.
Hold on.
I am holding on. We have had to stop to go up hills.
We're not going to make this hill.
And I've been informed that we're not going to make this hill. Nope.
It's not going to make it.
Right. So that means I walk.
Our little steed here is not well equipped to get both of us up a hill. And the driving is pretty tricky, so that means Katie's doing a lot of walking. Oh, here she comes up this steep hill. Let's zoom on in and see how she looks. Hello there, Katie! Hello! She's not even waving.
Here's another hill.
Woo! Feel the back end?
Nope.
It slid really abruptly.
And downhill is pretty scary too. We gotta slow down down. Yeah.
Woo! It's pretty cool looking.
So after going to several other places and getting to points where we couldn't go down the road anymore, we tried out a random place that our guidebook didn't say anything about and we hadn't heard anything about. And a lady brought us to one of the best places that we've stayed, surprisingly for the same price as the worst place we've ever stayed. So kinda is working out, and let me show you what it is. We've got a little area to hang all of our clothes, got a little pool that has some tadpoles in it, an area to sit outside. Notice that this actually looks like a house, like it doesn't look crappy. Inside, everything is made from wood, except for our mattress. You made of wood? And we have 2 beds, which means 2 blankets, which means comfortable sleeping. The windows make the room look gorgeous. And we've messed up the room just a little bit, but that's okay. Same with the bathroom. We've got a sink and an actual mirror that we can see. The cold shower is really cold because it's cold here. You never really walk in this room hot, but you do need to clean off before you get into the bed, so it takes a lot of willpower to take a cold shower here. And a regular toilet that actually flushes. We are in heaven. You might be asking yourself, why does he have that? I have no idea. Alright. Today we went swimming in a beautiful watered area, and then we rode around a little while, and we ended up at the other coast and kind of just sat and chilled. And I got the idea that we should go and travel up to, now that we find out, like the middle of 2 mountains. And we climbed all the way up there. I took some pictures from up there, but then I realized video probably would be good, but now we're a little farther down than what we were before. And we're kind of just chilling, watching the sunset and watching the bay. The crappy place that we stayed is somewhere in this area. Don't stay there, okay? We're now staying somewhere completely different. It's almost on the other side of the island, and it's wonderful. We have managed to smuggle ourselves onto a private beach unnoticed. The water is amazing looking, it's amazing feeling. The only thing that sucks about this beach is there are some terribly hard rocks as you go in and as you get out. Once you get past them, it's okay, but getting out was a little painful. And Eric found this tree swing. It's actually connected to 2 different trees. It looks pretty heavenly. He's having a good time.